It is my fear that in view of the direction in which things are moving today, the political and economic dynamics of the countries of the world may lead to a world war. Therefore, it is the duty of the superpowers to sit down and find a solution to save humanity from the brink of disaster.
You understand at a profound level that promoting religious freedom is an essential building block for peace and stability here and throughout the world. In this we are allied with His Holiness, a courageous champion of religious freedom and of peace.
Allah ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu.
Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad is the present head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, the most dynamic international community within Islam. The community was established by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad in Qadian, a small and remote village in India. He claimed to be the expected reformer of the latter days, the one awaited by all major world religions. Founded in 1889, the community has continued to spread throughout the world, flourishing under caliphate, the system of spiritual leadership established after the demise of the holy founder. The current successor of this movement, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, continues the work of the holy founder to revive the spiritual and moral state of mankind. The movement embodies the benevolent message of Islam in its pristine purity, a movement that preaches peace, universal brotherhood, and submission to the will of God. Ahmadi Muslims have earned the distinction and reputation of being a law-abiding and peaceful community. Within a century, the movement has reached all the corners of the earth and has been recognized and praised by the global community.
Love for all, hatred for none. Those words from your third Khalifa are more important, more crucial, more essential today than they have ever been. And of course the Ahmadi have always practiced this peace-loving philosophy.
I am gladdened and inspired by the fact that the Ahmadis not only preach a message of love, friendship and understanding, but practice it fully in the way you include and invite others to share your gathering.
An injunction to love all and to hate none is the avowed guiding principle of the Ahmadi life.
I would thank you also that you have stressed the importance of showing that Islam is the religion of peace, not the religion of hate, as it was stated on the wall in the Jalsa, love for all, hatred for none. I think that is the message that the world really needs.
अगर मानव जाति लाखों वर्ष पहले से ही इस मोटो को, जो कि सभी धर्म ग्रंथों की शिक्षाओं का सार है, अपना लेती, तो आज तक दुनिया में जितनी भी जंगें हुई हैं वो ना होती.
You understand at a profound level that promoting religious freedom is an essential building block for peace and stability here and throughout the world. In this we are allied with His Holiness, a courageous champion of religious freedom and of peace.
Love for all, hatred for none is the message that we see in this mosque and from the Ahmadiyya Association. Your people have been the leaders in taking the peace movement that one step further.
The huge respect we all have, for your work day by day in making a reality of peace and brotherhood across the communities in this country and across the world.
I think the words that you said to my colleagues in the House of Commons ring probably a little truer, but hopefully a little more hopefully than they did when you actually said it in the House a few weeks ago. His Holiness began his address by speaking of the great conflicts that divide the world today. Wars being fought in different parts of the world. He worried of even greater problems. He then went on and said, "It is my fear that in my view of the direction in which things are moving today, the political and economic dynamics of the countries of the world may lead to world war. Therefore, it is the duty of the superpowers to sit down and find a solution to save humanity from the brink of disaster. They were words, Your Holiness, I think, that were taken very seriously by all who were there at that meeting.
Wherever the movement has been established, it endeavours to exert a constructive influence of Islam through social projects, educational institutes, health services, Islamic publications, and the construction of mosques. These endeavours continue, despite the bitter persecution that the community suffers in some countries.
We need all the goodness we can find in today's world, and I applaud you for your contribution in Britain and worldwide to community cohesion and the enjoyment of diversity that is such a precious asset.
And wherever Ahmadis live in the world, you are renowned for enthusiastically participating in the larger community and peacefully living alongside people of all faiths, languages, and cultures.
And I would like to pay an additional tribute to the work being done by Ahmadis in raising standards in Africa, and particularly in education.
Yes, Britain has welcomed the headquarters of the Ahmadis in this country, but it hasn't become something that's become, as it were, a closed sect in Britain. It's become a community that has sought to reach out to all of us. And that's very important, because the best way to break down the barriers of misunderstanding and prejudice is for that contact to happen, and I thank you for that.
The Ahmadiyyan community contribute hugely to interfaith forums, to the richness of our community, and that is the same that's reflected across our nation. But what I would like to pay tribute to you as well this evening is the contribution that you make to wider society and the important charitable causes that you support, not just for your own communities, but for the wider communities. And that is to be acclaimed, and that is to be applauded.
The Ahmadiyya community has been a beacon. It's been a beacon of peace, truth and justice. It's been a stalwart in this city. We are the better for having you. You are tremendous in adversity and in triumph. We value your friendship, we value your dedication and your commitment, and particularly your recognition of civic society in Bradford.
Your faith is dedicated to serving the society that you live in, and from what I've seen, heard and experienced from mainstream charities, schools and churches, your faith and community have contributed in significant ways. I have personally experienced and heard that you have raised tens of thousands of pounds on sponsored walks for children, older people and people with disabilities. You have dedicated yourselves to charitable social projects, and most significantly of all, you have not distinguished between faiths, ethnicities or communities.
The community's many social projects aimed at helping those in need bears testimony to humanitarian concerns in respect of all human beings, regardless of race, colour or creed.
The Ahmadiyyan community have an extraordinary reputation abroad for charitable work in Africa, India, Bosnia and Indonesia, amongst other places. But you'll note your community here too have an extraordinary reputation. You have been generous with your time and resources, and you have made yourselves part of the wider community.
The Ahmadiyya community has always been at the forefront, not only of helping their own, but actually helping within society as a whole, is one of the reasons why, if I may say to you, your presence in this country has been so beneficial to us.
In the past 100 years, you have given so much to the society in the United Kingdom and to societies everywhere globally. You are among those who give and who not only take. You give so much to so many societies that I have seen and felt and listened to and watched.
Ahmadis are also renowned for working to serve the greater good through social, health, and educational initiatives as well as mosque projects.
Your own work, Your Holiness, particularly in West Africa, is well known, and we heard just now about your attempts to bring water and energy supplies to some of the poorest communities in West Africa.
Together, we should fight common enemies such as illiteracy, disease, hunger, and poverty. The Ahmadiyya mission has put structures in place towards the fight against these common enemies in order to enhance the dignity of man.
The mission has been a vanguard and a partner in collaborating with government in the areas of education, health, agriculture, and human animation.
The Ahmadiyya community, the mission in Sierra Leone, really they've made a pivotal contribution to the education in our country. You just have to look around wherever you are.
And I have to say, Your Holiness, that I was touched by the way in which your predecessor as spiritual leader instructed your community, the Ahmadi community, to befriend and look after those suffering as a result of the Bosnian conflict, and I was very impressed by that.
Everywhere that mankind suffers, your members have been active in bringing help and saving lives and limbs.
I very much welcome this opportunity of paying tribute to the wonderful work which has been done by the Ahmadiyya community towards the objective which we're seeking to promote this evening of achieving peace through understanding and tolerance. The Ahmadiyya community are doing a tremendous job in building bridges between the different communities in our country, between different ethnic, linguistic and religious groups up and down the country, and I also know that they have a wonderful record in other parts of the world.
I'd like to start by saying just how important the work of the Ahmadiyya community is. It deepens others' understanding of your own faith, and it gives a voice to those who are marginalised in their own societies.
Now, what has so impressed me as I have come to understand more about the Ahmadiyya faith is your remarkable commitment to interfaith dialogue, your commitment to the principle of non-compulsion in religion, and your commitment to peace and tolerance. You, the Ahmadis, stand as a beacon in your strong belief that we must find the answers to these debates through open, thoughtful, and gentle discussion. And you are also a beacon because you show us that we must find the answers to these debates through practical action.
The Ahmadiyya Mission is one religious organization in Ghana which has demonstrated ample tolerance in terms of its preparedness to cooperate with all other religious bodies, Muslim and Christian alike.
How good you have been to our community, the community that you found here. Today you reflect so many professions, so many different walks of life. You uphold all the virtues and the vigorous ethics that your faith has given you from birth.
At this pivotal point in international relations, many questions and concerns have been raised concerning the doctrines of Islam. Most have incorrectly interpreted Islam as endorsing violence and terrorism. The Ahmadiyya community has always demonstrated the spirit of tolerance, goodwill, and true brotherhood. It advocates peace, love, and understanding among followers of different faiths. It firmly believes in and acts upon Quranic teachings. It strongly rejects violence and terrorism in any form and for any reason. The movement offers a clear presentation of Islamic wisdom philosophy, morals, and spirituality, as derived from the Holy Quran and the practice of the Holy Prophet of Islam, Muhammad.
For me, as a student of Islam for now almost 30 years, I am constantly amazed by the depth of service that is certainly represented by this community and tradition, by the depth of tolerance and the constant searching for what it means to be human. To be of human means to be of service, and I think this is so dramatically represented by the message of this community.
But there is something in the faith of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community that is striking, impressing. You teach to your followers that loyalty to your homeland is part of your faith. Ahmadi Muslims are proud of the fact that wherever they reside in the world, they become loyal citizens of that country.
What would the world have been without Ahmadiyya movement? As far as Islam is concerned, it would have left a big gap, a vacuum incalculable for us to even suggest as to the type of impact it would mean on society.
Your strength and your commitment to your faith strengthens the faith of all of us in Canada, in all of our religions, and in all of our spiritual practices.
Your interpretation of jihad has always been in stark contrast to the extremist imams that we all deplore.
We especially applaud His Holiness for denouncing those who pervert faith by claiming it as a justification for violence. However we define God, it is wrong to kill in His name.
I have enormous admiration and respect for the work that the Ahmadiyya Muslim community are doing throughout the world to promote peace and understanding, not just by words, but by an example of a way of life, an example of impeccable conduct, and an example of undeniable faith in God Almighty, and an example of peace and tolerance.
I only wish that more people could be here today to see this face of Islam, to understand this community's expression of that great religion, and I hope that for the future you will be recognised as the face of Islam, of love, of tolerance, of brotherhood and friendship. The work that you do in the community contributes every day towards that. Let us hope that everyone else's eyes are opened to the truth, to the justice, and to the compassion that you bring to our society.
His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, the present head of the community, continues in his effort to unite people from all faiths and cultures by promoting interfaith dialogue and religious freedom. He has travelled extensively to spread the message of peace and to remind everyone to respect the rights of other human beings. During these tours, His Holiness has met world leaders from the Far East to Europe, from North America to Africa, discussing the economic, social and political problems facing the world today and how to create peace and justice in the world. He has also met religious and community leaders in order to share common values and core ideals universal to all religions and cultures, with a view to improving the moral state of mankind and creating an atmosphere of love and affection. From young to old, he compassionately listens to the ordinary man, regardless of race, colour or religion. He has personally initiated social projects and schemes to alleviate poverty and human suffering. His concern is not just about the well-being and moral state of the members of the Ahmadiyya community, but of the great human suffering of mankind at large. The Ahmadiyya community knows only that Islam, which is the Islam of love and affection, offers a real message of peace and security.
It is a pleasure to be associated with an organisation, with a religion that says love for all, hate for none. And I think if we reflect on that, really that is what we all ought to be doing in the world today.
The Ahmadiyya movement in Islam has been a leader in promoting peace and partnership between communities. Established in 190 countries, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community continues to preach a message of peace and tolerance, even in parts of the world that persecute them for their beliefs. But this should, ladies and gentlemen, come as a surprise to no one, to anyone who knows this community. Ahmadis are renowned throughout the world for their devotion to peace, universal brotherhood, and the will of God, the core principles of true Islam.
All of us, whatever our political persuasions, hugely admire the work of the Ahmadiyya community here in the United Kingdom, as we do across the world.
आज दुनिया च जिस तरीके नाल ये जो कुछ 2001 च होया, जो कुछ लंदन च होया, ये चीज़ां जड़ियां हैं, इन्हां नूं दूर करन तुहाडे सानूं थोड़ी जी आशा नज़र आती है कि ये तुहाडे वर्गे लोग अगे आके ये जड़ियां दिलां दी दूरी हो गई है, उन्हें कटा सकते हैं.
And you are also a beacon because you teach all of us that we will find the solutions to the problems of today through a rediscovery of the spiritual side of our lives as well as the material side.
Let us make a resolution. Let us make this resolution to promote the message of peace and brotherhood, which is your message to mankind, that people of different religions should not quarrel and fight with each other, but should accept and tolerate and live together in that spirit of brotherhood and peace, which is the essence of your religion.